The Adeptus Custodes, the noble sons and daughters of the Emperor, he who sits upon the golden throne on holy Terra. They are his bodyguards, his confidants, but most of all, his most favored warriors. It is these warriors that fought in the webway during the siege of Terra. It is these warriors who for 10,000 years have stood in silence, protecting their lord forevermore, until the day he might return. Clad in gold, adorned in red, it is these warriors that have taken on Primarchs. It is these warriors who with the flex of their muscles can snap bones of Ogrins, the towering monoliths of meat that the Guard employ into battle. It is said that when the Custodes arrive on a battlefield, the records are already written. It was a victory, a swift one at that. To mark any battle the Custodes participate in as a failure is heresy. A heresy that will lead to beheading, servitorization, or even just plainly death. There are many Custodes whose names are written in entire chapters of books, entire volumes, entire series, just to list their name. This is because when a Custodian has an achievement, it is added to their name. We've base coated the model in Retributor armor, the basic gold for most Warhammer 40k models. We base coated the waistcloth in Wordbearer's red. Then we added a layer of corn red. And now we add the finishing touches. We add the highlights of Mephiston red. The overall basic bright red of the Warhammer 40k range. Most of the kits come with it included if it's a painting kit. This singular model can wipe out a squad of Chaos Space Marines if need be. And it is just a Custodian Warden. He's not special in the greater scheme. He's not a character. He's not a special unit. He is a basic Custodian Warden, not even using his Castellan Power Axe to boost his power. As we continue, details will be shown. The filigree upon the shoulder pads, the Guardian Spear, the eagle that adorns his back and shoulder pad, the lightning that crosses over his chest to his waist belt, the gemstones that adorn the entire suit, from the elbows to the shoulders, to the chest, all the way to the top of his head. As we continue, this is where we move on to the shoulder pads. As stated, the insides will be Mephiston red. They'll have Stormhost silver as their trim. And then all the detail work will be left in the Retributor armor, aside from the gems. The elegance of the contrast of the silver and gold and red, and the blue, can be appreciated when you look at the secondary colors of the reds. The blues are the perfect contrast. For as we all know, red versus blue. When it comes to the gold and silver, it's easier to distinguish the two from something like gold and bronze, gold and brass, gold and gold. When it comes to Warhammer, canonically, the Custodes typically fashion their entire suits of gold. The only difference is the black on the Guardian Spear, the silver on the spear, and the gemstones. And if you watch Tithes, you will see this. By adding the silver and red, it has a finer look to it, something more refined and elegant. You can see the clashing of the colors, as they also work perfectly with each other. How nice. As we continue, this is where we start on the leg detailing. First, we will color the lip on the top of the thigh plate as Stormhost Silver. From there, we can move on to the knee, how it has the eagle adorning it. And then, we can make the entire trim of the top of the knee pad also Stormhost Silver. This gives us better definition on where the knee ends and the thigh starts. It won't take much work, just enough to set them apart from each other. Quite simple, but quite elegant, if I do say so. Which I do, as I have just said it, right now. Next, we move on to the waist. We'll color the twin cables that go across, all the way to the thing in the middle. I don't know what this thing is, but it looks like it's a power coupling device of sorts. And after that, we can move on to the lightning bolts spreading across the chest. It appears as if all Custodian models have those lightning bolts and singular gemstone. Whether there be a cross in the center with that gemstone or not, they persist heavily. Of course, a Custodian shield captain chest is different. It looks more akin to what Trajan Valorous, current acting Captain General of the Adeptus Custodes, wears. It goes nicely with his cape. We now move on to the back of the model. Here we will color the turbines of their power plants, Stormhost Silver. This shouldn't be too hard. And for a nice definition, we will leave Retributor armor around the power plants, giving us a nice contrast once again. And after that, we'll move on to the eagle that adorns the back. This one acts as the back of the collar, leading to the front, as the wings wrap around the neck, perfectly securing them from an axe swinging upon them from behind. This will be painted in Stormhost Silver, as the other eagle on the shoulder pad is Retributor armor. It gives us a nice definition to it. If you would like, you can use Nuln Oil to get into the recesses of the model and darken up all the metals. Afterwards, you can go back through with the original paints and highlight them. It could look very nice. I have not tried it myself, and many recommend using Reichland Flesh Shade instead, leaving a more red tint into the recesses. Now for the least important part of the model. We can start painting the base. This will be 2 colors only, as it's not the main focus. Those colors will be Leadbelcher, and later on, the second paste will be the shade Seraphim Sepia. That will muddy up the base. Now we will move on to the Guardian Spear. Here we will use Leadbelcher, and we will use some granite steel. As you can see, there was a time cut as I had to go to sleep. I had been working on the model since it was around 3 a.m., I fell asleep for a while, woke up at 7, and opened up the curtain above my desk, allowing me to get sunlight. The sunlight may be a bit blinding, and I would apologize. I said would because I'm not going to. I hope it was a flashbang to you all. There's a lot of red on the desk right now. Almost as if there's a theme. Granted, there are the 2 salamanders in there. And soon, there will be these golden warriors. As we continue, we will add more models to the back. And in the front and center, we will leave the channel's profile picture model. A Blood Angel Lieutenant with combi weapon, melt-a-pistol, and a rose. But back to the models. We are currently working on... What are we currently working on? We're working on the eagle, the filigree, and the detailing of the Guardian Spear. Now the Guardian Spears are special. Instead of just being a bladed weapon, they're also bolters. They fire 75 caliber rounds, they're self-propelled, and detonate on contact. Well, delayed contact. That way they can drill into whatever they hit, and then explode from the inside. That's why if you play any Warhammer 40k media, and you shoot a bolter round, the person explodes. It's not just due to the size, it's because it's quite literally a rocket that you're shooting into someone. I apologize for that cut. I had to grab a drink. I am thirsty. I'm also quite famished, so after this video, well, the recording of it, I'll grab something to eat. I may have some corpse starch. Maybe sweetened corpse starch? I heard it was discontinued, but if I eat enough sugar beforehand, it should be good. I hope no one reports me for that one. The Inquisitors have been on the look for heresy. After replacing our previous host, we've returned. We've reported him to the Inquisitors, and made a flash clone. That is I. I'm the flash clone that has replaced our previous host, as he was reported for heresy promptly after making that statement. Now, as we continue, we can start work on the helmet. First, we'll color the ponytail corn red. We'll do a similar color scheme to the way we did the tabards. We'll grab our Grey Knight steel and start painting the helmet's detailing. The way we'll do this is by painting the inside of the wings, the faceplate, the cables, and the outer framework of the helmet going upwards in this color. When it comes to the gold, it will be the base of the eagle, the slit going across the front of the faceplate, and most of the plating. After that, we'll go in and color the filigree, also Grey Knight steel, along with the gemstone placements. And that will make it easier for later when we grab our Frostheart blue, a contrast paint, and color them. When we come back to the ponytail, we'll edge highlight that also in Mephiston red. Now, when it comes to the eyes, although, we'll take a little dab of white scar. We'll run it across the eye, filling it in. We'll let that dry, and then using our contrast paint once more, we'll have some bright blue eyes. I much prefer doing blue eyes on the Custodian models, as I feel there's too much red already. And the blue is a nice contrast, as always. For models with more detailing, like Reeves, we paint it with Grey Knight steel, and then use a striking scorpion green contrast to go over it. That way it has a shiny metallic reef that's still green. It's quite enjoyable. As you can see, right now we are just moving along with the process of using the Retributor Armor Gold. After we pick back up the model, that is. And after this, we can continue work on the base. Once we're done with the helmet, that is. As we're coming very close to finishing it. Of course, the time skips are because, sometimes I drop the model. I would apologize, but I probably shouldn't. Now, with our lead belchered base, we'll just puddle in the Seraphim sepia. We want it to encompass the entire base of the model. That way it looks like a pool of just murky brown doo-doo water. The waste reclamation systems had a malfunction the other day, thus the reason the doo-doo water has occurred. And after we puddle it in, we'll clean up our brush, dry it off, and if we're fast enough, we can start dipping it into the actual liquid and soak up some of it. Enough to where it doesn't look fake, but enough to where it looks believable. Once we're happy with how it looks, we'll grab the napkin that we've been using the entire time we've been on this channel. Yes, that is quite literally all the paints that we've used as we painted the models on this channel. Beautiful, isn't it? And we'll just press it in. That'll take off most of it, and then we can grab our custodian and glue him down. Or her down. We can't fully tell if this is a he or her, as they were wearing their helmet. And with that, we're just about done. Time for the final spin. We enjoy doing our final spins on the model on this channel. Lets us see everything we've done. Beautiful. And with another model done, I'd like to thank some subscribers. I'd like to thank Valerie. I'd like to thank Naomi. My brother Virgil. My girlfriend. Her mother. My two good friends Taro and Wilty. Fans of Warhammer these days. And with that, goodbye. Like, comment, and subscribe. Helps the channel out. Time to get some corpse search.